I relate to one character in one way because of the relationship we have, but I relate to another character in another way for the relationship that we have. So it's never the same sort of, it's always the same basis coming from the character, but it's different for each person that you interact with, which is true in real life.
Like Eddie, I put Eddie and Susan and Diana and Matt Stumpy in the same boat because they worked their way up. They were students. And so they came to our shows and they paid their way in and just were there to be, entertained and to have fun. And all four of them worked their way up from being student to being head boy and head girl and graduated and then came onto the cast. And so for them to do that, to start off as paying customers to keep us going and work their way up and want to be a part of it, so rewarding. Amazing. Matt makes me laugh to no end, and that is one of the greatest gifts that boy has.
Wait for action.
I was waiting for you to say something. I'm sorry.
With the huge beard and everything.
You got caught. You're being punished. So.
How could I get caught? This is so subtle.
All right. Focus, everybody. Focus. Sorry.
When he laughs, you can't help but laugh with him. His deadpan humor is nuts. We need to find other projects for that guy to do specifically so that we can bring him in because he's got that Zach Galifianakis quality to him that's just nuts.
And Trent of Potions is always a great one. Kids always look forward to that one, and it's going to be great to see where Professor Vortigern goes from here. And he went from prefect to head boy to a TA to the head of Labostro and Potions Master.
He plays Vortigern so well. The kids love his classes. They love being around him, and that's a gift too. All of these people have an amazing quality that the kids just want to be around them.
Amelia Emberwing, I like her feistiness, but the fact that she's also very human, in that she's kind of a worrier like Desirand is. I think that's why they kind of go hand in hand together. She doesn't know her own strength, but it's fun to watch that strength emerge over time.
Diana, commitment. Oh my gosh, she has such amazing commitment to this thing. Making the drives from the Springs to come to rehearsals. We branched her out a little bit more with speaking roles and that thing this time, and she took them and she owned it. And she's been willing to fill whatever role we wanted to have her in.
Scriba is Mama Bear. Scriba's Mama Bear persona is what makes her such a joy to work with. And in the live show, more so than in the film. The film, she's got to be in there. We see her throughout the Worlds at War. I wouldn't change that for the world. But where Scriba really shines is during the live show. We call upon her Mama Bear attitude. She being, a mother to all our friends and a grandma to so many people, and she's such a wonderful woman. She has a true love for children, and so she's able to take them all under her wing, along with some of the other young mothers in the group, and she'll take the kids and the younger ones and pull them aside so that way the bad guy's not scaring them too bad.
Really like the former headmistress Kobayashi, played by Sachiko. For nothing else, Sachiko has a very strong connection to her Asian culture and her heritage, and she really brought that to the forefront of her Avistrum character. And I think that really set her apart from a lot of the other characters. Everybody seems to be not similar, but I don't know how to say this. They're not similar, but there's really something about having that presence from another country that makes it feel a little bit more like the world Rowling created in the Harry Potter universe. That there's something bigger out there, and I really appreciated that from her character and everything she brought to it with her Asian heritage.
Sachiko, another one. She's about the best, really, at interacting with the kids and teaching her class. Her class was second to none. It was always neat to see her different ways that she would bring in the kids to her class and make them feel as though they are performing magic, and then the great energy that she always brought to the classroom.
With Polonious, you see him actually be able to control parts of the wizarding government and move his way up through there in these parts of power, but he's a leader that you can trust. He's a leader that you can get behind. He's that classic, everybody loved, Reagan and JFK and all this. There's a lot of glory behind him and how well respected of a leader he is. So that's a lot of fun. I have a lot of respect for Chad as an actor and as a friend.
You talked about Chad and how he's kind of the nerd of the professors, so to speak, which is cool to have. You can't everybody can't be the cool guy. You have to have some scholar, which is why he's so far, and we're still going to continue to explore it, so far has made a great politician when it comes within the world.
Mordecai Argeletum has a nice tie.
One of the first characters that springs to mind how I met them, it stands out because usually the meetings from my side of it on creative they're planned. There was the time that Clark met Mordecai Argeletum.
He's got a great tie.
It happened over the forums, and this character pops up named Mordecai.
He's got so many ties that I don't know what he does with all those ties.
And I wasn't quite sure how to pronounce his last name at that time. But he comes to the school and completely unannounced who he was. And he shows up to the school with he's bleeding and he needs bandages for his head, and he needs to speak to the headmaster and all this stuff, and big drama's going down, and I have no idea that it's Barry. I just think it's some random person who is going completely off the deep end with this stuff. And I even posted in the board of directors section, like, does anybody know who the hell this guy is? Because he's talking all this stuff in the fountain, and I have no idea what is going on. And ended up sending an owl to him, and then a few others were checking into it, and that's when I found out it was Barry. It was him the whole time. Then I kind of felt like a jackass because I was being overprotective and a little hostile. Because it was interesting. But while I'm there on Mordecai, it's been awesome to see his character come from the character who was seemingly just have more of a guest spot as he was from Timbernack School for Boys, that he's been really instrumental in getting the whole the Timbernack storyline to where it is now, to the point that he's not just a character who's from Timbernack. He's now become a professor, regardless of the fact that he hates being called professor. He prefers Mr. Argeletum. But he's a professor of arithmancy, and he's even now the head of Parador. And it's been really cool to see that kind of progression. And
I find Professor Argeletum, who's played by Barry, really intriguing. He kind of just dropped into the Avistrum world, and nobody's questioned him yet. We have this backstory about a kind of a sister school being destroyed potentially by one of the good guys, by Persephone, all at the behest of Simon Drake. And his character came from this school to Avistrum. He's never been questioned as a suspect.
I have to wonder how much he paid for that tie.
He's very, very soft-spoken.
The ties that spin.
His classes are amazing.
He does nerd magic. That's the best way to put it, nerd magic. He's got numbers and sorcery. And with that, Scorpio's going to die. Scorpio's not going to know how to fight that. He's not going to know anything about it. A lot of that science was way before Johnny's time, so of course he's not going to be able to help out as well.
So again, that's something I'm really excited to see if his character gets explored a little bit more, maybe even outed at some point. I don't know.
But Mordecai is a wonderful character that I would never hope to get rid of. He's so much fun to work with because he's that other flavor, that other spice in the mix.